Let's have a discussion, I think, and it's appropriate to talk about the budget and the deficit, or what appears to be a issue with $6.6 million, because it's actually not. I think if you understand the process and how we issue guidance to our department heads, I tell all the department heads, you should conduct your initial evaluation on what you're going to need in the next budget unconstrained. You should come back to the table and have an initial discussion with me. If I had all the opportunity and funding that I need to do whatever I could do, here's what it would look like. So even though there's a gap when we total it all up between what we're going to estimate revenues at and what the department's asked, and that's $6.6 million, we go back and we apply, all right, now we have to trim some of this back. We have to go, what does it, you asked for this, what is it that you need from this? How can we fund what you need? Might not get everything you want, right? And I think Mick Jagger is appropriate context here. But at the end of the day, we're going to get you everything that you need to operate in the next year. What we do is we trim down off of that what they ask. But that also gives me a good idea of what they see as important, what they feel that their department needs to either improve or raise or add different services or to maintain the current services. It comes in with requests for additional bodies and people. We get that every year. It's something that we have to manage. We don't see a lot of room for growth in the number of employees, so some of those get taken back, and that impacts a couple parts of the budget as well, mainly in salary and benefits aspects. For instance, we pay, on average, $30,000 per employee for health insurance. So if a department wants to add an employee, they would pick up the wage aspect of it, but in my column I would have to add the benefits for Medicare, unemployment, health insurance, pension, just to name a few. So that totals in factor how we do this. So we try to manage and meet them with an understanding, I'm glad you're asking for this. This is okay. This is part of the process. But now let's get down to what it takes to make the department operate and what you need to make this happen. I can tell you today that we've already worked our way down off of that $6.6 million into a number where we're very comfortable, and we're just fine-tuning it now, waiting on some final calculations to come in, and we'll get ready to go back in front of council in April to do the final budget presentation, which will have a balanced budget proposal in it.
What would prevent the town of North Attleboro, which finished with how much in free cash at the end of last fiscal year?
$6 million.
So $6 million. To say, you know what, we're going to end up with $5 to $6 million probably in free cash next year. Let's pad revenue by $3 million so we can give everybody what they want.
Yeah, that seems like an easy way to bring in a couple more $1 million into the budget, and that until it doesn't develop or it doesn't actually happen. What if we only were able to receive $3 million and we padded it for $5 million? Now we have a $2 million deficit that we have to pay back to the state. So that takes off of the next FY $2 million right off the top. So when we get our free cash balance, it would be reduced, and maybe we'd have little to none. So we approach this with a conservative slant. We understand and we look at our past trend lines. One of the things I would tell you to take a look at to kind of observe this is how we have tracked local receipts over the past few years. We look at our trend analysis. How do we see this? Where do we see all of these coming together? And we look 3 years back and look at what the revenue that came in, and then we apply it. You will see our local receipts number has grown from at $6 million to almost $10 million today. So
define local receipts.
Okay, local receipts are those items that we collect directly from or indirectly through the state, not as a part of state aid, right? State aid is its own entity that's very flat in nature, and something that we've been urging our representative to represent us on and ask for an increase in state aid. But local receipts are the meals taxing, the lodging tax, the interest that we make from investments that we have. It is the motor vehicle excise tax. It's not property tax, but it's all of those little things that when you pay a permit fee and when you pay for a potential service that isn't accounted for in a department, it ends up in these local receipts. The payment in lieu of taxes, the pilot payments that we receive from North Attleboro Electric Department, from the state housing for the property, and from the federal government for the fish hatchery, those are all considered local receipts. 5 years ago, it was around $6 million. Today, that number is almost $10 million. So we've been able to grow that. But we've systematically increased the revenue that we're pulling from that by looking at the trends. Where are they at? What are they doing? Are people buying more cars? Well, we saw a jump at the end of last year when people were worried about the potential of tariffs, and that shot our motor vehicle excise, gave it a boost at the end of the year. So we'll look at that trend over 3 years and then we'll average. But understanding that motor vehicle excise is a decaying tax over time. So you don't pay the same amount each year, you pay less and less after that until you hit a minimal value. So we're cognizant of that, we're looking at that, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, we're making good decisions, but not putting the town in a position where we would be in jeopardy of a shortfall in revenue the next year. So something that we track, something that we look at. We also try to, make sure that we're making the best decision and putting enough money into the budget that we feel very comfortable leaving in there that we know we're going to be able to collect.